Hey Scorpio, welcome to your monthly reading for March 2026. If you're new here, welcome. My name is Laura, aka Baby Curl Tarot. I'm a tarot reader, astrologer, and root worker, and I love doing monthly readings for all the zodiac signs here on YouTube, as well as some other fun content over on TikTok and Instagram. I'm going to go ahead and jump into your reading. Keep in mind this is a general collective message, so whatever comes up, comes up. Also, please don't ever try to force the reading you see on the internet to fit your personal life. If it's not resonating, probably a message for another Scorpio out there. Please take what resonates, leave the rest behind. All right. Spiritual team, Legendary Ladies Goddess deck. What messages do you have for the Scorpio collective for March 2026? What messages do you have for the Scorpio collective for March 2026? What do we got? Okay, so we have Cradle Ad. It says self-care. Okay, I dig that. Who doesn't love self-care? And at the bottom of the deck, we have Newt. Resurrection. Okay, so some of you guys might be in a little bit of a cocoon situation, waiting to do your death and rebirth thing, like the final stages of your death and rebirth thing that us Scorpios are known for. Let me go ahead and just read from the guidebook here and just make sure I'm not missing any key messages that Spirit wants you to hear. Okay, I also don't have all of these memorized, so that's why I'm reading from the guidebook. Okay. All right, so Cradle Lad, it's time to take care of yourself. The Welsh goddess of flowers and spring, Cradle Lad, is guiding you to fill your own well and tend to your own garden because the time to bloom is coming very soon. I love that. All right, let's take a look at Newt. Okay. You have the power to reinvent yourself at any moment. Bring yourself up from what may feel like the bottom. You can overcome the challenges that have been set before you. Egyptian goddess of the sky and rebirth, Newt is holding your hand. I love that. So it feels like wintertime may have been a period where you guys were maybe self-isolating a little bit, really focused on yourselves, maybe licking your wounds, okay, going through some things emotionally, maybe looking for ways to reinvent yourself or just simply rest, okay? Scorpios may have been through it in 2025 and even most recently, just early 2026, still the winter time where things are dead, things aren't really moving, things aren't really progressing a whole lot. I think that is honestly like the perfect time to really rest, reflect, and reinvent yourself. So it feels like March, with it being the beginning of springtime, it feels like a new year. Like this marks the new year for me personally. Traditionally, that's what the farmers would mark as the new year, is springtime. So for me, it feels like with spring and the weather improving and the flowers blooming, you are also starting to bloom and resurface and, show yourself to be a new person. I do feel like the Scorpios have been doing a lot of deep diving and carefully planning their reemergence, their rebirth, if you will. All right, let's go ahead and get into the tarot. See what comes up for you guys. Spiritual team, Erotic Fantasy Tarot, what messages do you have for the Scorpio collective for March 2026? What messages do you have? Hello, for the Scorpio collective for March 2026. These are really jumping, aren't they? Anything else? Okay. So I had a few cards jump out of the deck, like before I could even finish shuffling for you. It's very interesting. Let's see what else is there. Okay. Sorry, I'm having a little bit of a brain fart because I'm trying to decide whether I want to take these cards or not. So the cards that flipped over and flipped out of the deck is the Star card in the reverse, the Four of Cups, the Page of Wands in the reverse, the Knight of Swords, and the Ten of Swords in reverse. At the bottom of the deck, we have the Three of Wands in reverse, the Five of Swords in reverse. We have the Knight of Pentacles, the Hierophant, and the Magician. So I want to start with the bottom of the deck because this is what I feel like has been happening up until this point as you enter the month of March. Three of Wands in reverse and the Five of Swords in reverse in a way, to me, feels a lot like kind of giving up. Some of you guys may have given up on pursuing a very particular goal, whether that is pursuing a career option. And I forgot to mention this, I did say this was an erotic fantasy tarot deck, so I'm not gonna be able to show you every single card because some of these people are naked and in compromising acts. Okay, so just keep that in mind. This one I can show you, these two I can show you. But yeah, it felt like a lot of you guys, because these two cards came out next to the Knight of Pentacles, a lot of you guys felt like maybe you had to give up on certain things, or you had to let go of certain expectations, or give in to certain things that maybe you aren't necessarily a fan of in order to progress in some way related to maybe health, your finances, your career, business, okay, whatever it is. Whenever I see the Pentacles, I think of like the physical body, I think of, you know, our wealth, our stability, all of that. So it does feel like you are still making progress, or you were making progress up until this point. But it also felt like you had to let go of a lot in order to keep moving. So some of you guys may have had to accept maybe a role you wouldn't normally accept, or go in a different direction, or, you know, look at different types of roles that maybe you would never consider, or I don't know. So keep that in mind. But it feels like you guys are looking at this as an opportunity to, A, be resourceful, and B, so interesting. The Hierophant here, it's like right next to the Knight of Pentacles, it almost feels like an offering. It feels like, oh wow, okay. Some of you guys, like, this is such a weird thing, but I heard like making an offer to the patriarchy, because the Hierophant is man's or human's interpretation of like the occult, right? So that turns into religion. It's organized, it's structured, it's a system. So it feels like the Scorpios were kind of put in a position to like say, okay, I will succumb to the pressure, and maybe I wanted to be independent, maybe I wanted to be a business owner, but I guess I will rejoin capitalism and take a job for the time being in order to do what I gotta do. Knowing myself, I am a Scorpio, and my other Scorpios, some of you guys in the back of your head are like, this is temporary, this is just a pit stop on my complete journey to where I want to go. And some of you guys have had to swallow a lot of pride and ego in doing this, because I think a lot of you guys are like, this is the last thing I want to do, is contribute to a society or something that I don't necessarily agree with, but it's a necessary evil. It's kind of what I'm getting. It's like, we got to be resourceful. Times are tough, things are not quite what we want them to be, and a lot of these things are outside of our control, so we just have to go with the flow, and we gotta find, you know, the easiest route or the path of least resistance in order to get where we want to go. Okay, so there, it feels like some compromise of some kind. Now going into March, we have the Star card in reverse, Four of Cups. Okay, so it feels a little bit like, to me, it feels a little bit like, damn, like I'm kind of mourning, not even mourning because that would be the Five of Cups, but it does feel a little bit of like I've kind of given up on the dream for now. Maybe not entirely, but I think it's just harder for you to really be excited about that dream, that future goal that you've wanted and worked hard for or worked towards, or at least envisioned in your head. But at the same time, there's like a lot of relief that comes in during the month of March, I feel, just because of the Knight of Swords and the Ten of Swords in reverse. And I'm checking to make sure that these girls aren't naked, because I'm like, I just don't want to get flagged. I don't want to get flagged. Okay, but it feels like there is some sort of relief. So maybe this is a job offer, maybe this is some sort of momentum or something that allows you to, I don't know, it's something that allows you to kind of like really release the worries that you've been holding on to. And in a weird way, it may allow you guys to reconnect with your creativity and with your passion, because I do have the Knight of Swords running straight towards this Page of Wands in reverse. The Page of Wands to me represents our curiosity, our playfulness, our passion. So for a lot of you, you guys may have lost like a spark in you, your creativity, your passion for your dream. So in a lot of ways, I feel like this sacrifice, if you will, this sacrifice in a way allows you to have enough stability in order to relieve the stress that you felt around maybe being able to pay the bills or whatever, your health. And it feels like it relieves enough of that stress to the point where you may start to see that passion and that creativity and that fire come back towards the end of March, maybe going into April. But it does kind of, I'm hoping for you guys, reinstill a little bit of hope, a little bit of, you know, keeping the dream alive, sort of a thing is what I'm feeling, okay? It does feel like a little bit of a reinvention with the support of, you know, being backed in terms of your security, okay? So hopefully you guys understood what I'm trying to explain, but it does feel like a little bit of a reinvention, a little bit of a boost in confidence, a little bit of like, hey, Scorpio, get back on that horse kind of a thing, which I really like to see. For those of you that are resonating with this, trust me, I'm right there with you guys. I've been feeling this a little bit as well, but I'm actually really excited to see what potentially could, you know, come back around in terms of passions, projects, creativity, and all that. Anyways, I'm gonna go ahead and close out your reading with one final deck just to see what additional messages you guys need to hear. Spiritual team, daily crystal inspiration. What final messages do you have for the Scorpio collective for March 2026? What final messages do you have for the Scorpio collective for March 2026? We have Garnet, ignite your passion. Love that. Literally said that. Next we have Golden Healer Quartz, open the door. Okay, so it may not feel like it. It may feel like you're taking a few steps backwards by sacrificing yourself to capitalism and the patriarchy a little bit, but it feels like this direction really does have opportunities for you if you can take advantage of them and, you know, be a little more attentive to what's going on around you and you know, what is available to you, you know, what options you have. I think that there could be some really creative ways to make this really work in your favor. At the bottom of the deck, we have Tourmalinated Quartz, get out of your own way. Yeah, this feels a little bit like, you know, eating a little bit of humble pie, right? We have to take what we can get sometimes in these situations. We can't be too picky, but we can make the best of a situation, and we can do things that, you know, can turn in our advantage. It's really about how you see things and how you approach things, right? All right, Scorpios, that is what I'm seeing for you guys. Oh my God, I completely blanked again. Ah! All right, Scorpios, that is what I'm seeing for you guys. Please leave a like and a comment if you enjoyed the reading. Don't forget to subscribe if you want to see more videos from me in the future, and maybe share this with another Scorpio if you feel like it would resonate for them or they might need to hear this message. If you want to see more content from me, I'm also on TikTok and Instagram. My handles are below in the description box, and you can also send me a DM on those two platforms if you want to schedule a personal reading with me, at least until my website is up and running. As always though, thank you guys so much for watching. I really appreciate the support. I hope to see you guys at the next reading. Until then, please take care of yourselves. Bye.